What's good, my beautiful kings and queens? It's I, Wini, your favorite British Locs YouTuber. If this is the first time that you're watching a video of mine, welcome to my Locs and Lifestyle channel. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you're notified every single time that I upload, which generally tends to be once every week. If you're an oldie and you've come back to support me, mwah, love you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. As you can see by today's title, hopefully it's a short and sweet one, but this video is dedicated to those that are thinking about locking up, or those that have just started their lock journey and they are worried and concerned about their loved ones. So it could be family, friends, maybe somebody you're dating, whoever it may be, being against the idea of you locking up your hair. Now, the inspiration for today's video is basically, this has come up in conversation multiple times with people that I come across via social media, and they keep asking me, how do you deal with this issue? And I'm gonna start off by saying, me personally, I haven't had to deal with this issue per se, because my mom was pretty cool with me locking up. She'd always said that when she was younger, it was something that she had always thought about doing, but she just never got round to doing it. And I think the closest that I can say that I've come to being in a similar situation is, I think it was the last time I went to Ghana, which was about 2-3 years ago. And even though that I regularly go to Ghana and I regularly see my aunt who lives out there when I am there, it was only on the last visit that she realized that my hair is actually locks. And she expressed her shock. You know, she thought that all this time I had just had my hair in braids, because she says every time she sees me, my hair is like always looking neat or it's styled, so she assumed that it was braids. And then she turned to my mom and she was like, and how could you and my brother, which is my dad, allow her to get locks? And it's just like, my mom turned around and was like, what? She's a grown-ass woman. What do you mean by that? So yeah, obviously certain people experience it more severe, where it's more direct. Like it could be your parents, for example, that you live with. It could be your aunt that maybe brought you up. Whatever the reason may be, basically, these are my thoughts, right? Sometimes I think it's very easy for people to talk on situations that they haven't been in. However, what I will say on that matter is this. You need to think about the reason as to why you've decided to lock up. If you've decided to lock up because to you just want to rebel, or it's something very petty, and maybe it's not something that you wholeheartedly want to do, maybe you just want to do it just to irritate people, or just for fashion reasons, or just for the sake of it, then I guess how you would deal with that is going to be more easy. You might just feel to yourself, you know what, it's not really worth all the trouble, it's not really worth all the wahala, let me just get rid of it because it's not something that means anything to me. However, if you're somebody that is locking up, has started to lock up, or you're thinking about locking up for spiritual reasons, maybe you see locks as a sign of strength, maybe you see locks as the beginning of your spiritual personal journey, that is a much deeper reason and a much deeper reasoning to you starting your locks. And if that is the case, then to put it bluntly, you shouldn't care what other people have got to say in regards to your looks. I do understand that obviously we are all human, and the decisions that we make in life, we would love to have the support of our loved ones backing us. However, you've got to understand the people that may feel some type of way towards your hair, they've already lived the majority of their life. They've already made the decisions that they were comfortable making in life, and they should allow you to live yours. With me, what would I do in that situation? I'm somebody that thinks that it's very easy to talk about what you would do in a situation that you haven't been in. However, I'm a very headstrong person. When I decide that I want to do something, there's nothing that anyone can say or do that's gonna make me stop doing it. So me personally, if I was in that situation, I would let them talk. I would let them express their frustrations. I would let them even tell me why they don't want me to do it. And I will say, okay, I've heard you. I won't be disrespectful because I'm not a disrespectful person unless you disrespect me, but I will hear them out and I will say okay, and I would still lock up anyway, because locks to me have a deeper meaning than it just being hair. And I've got to say that the majority of people that ask me like what would you do, they tend to be from an African background like myself, which is also another reason as to why a lot of people tend to ask me like, oh my gosh, Winnie, like what did your Ghanaian mom say when you decided to lock your hair? Because people automatically assume that all African parents have an issue with locks. Granted, I do believe that there's still a lot of stigma in regards to locks within the African community, but not all African parents share this view. At the same time, there is quite a lot of African parents that do see as an issue, especially if you are a male child and you decide to lock up. There is a stigma that if you're male especially and you go and get locks, then it basically means that you're a ruffian, you're a street boy, like you're basically a bad boy. Basically is the best way for me to put it. I can't word it much better than that. And those kind of views obviously stem from a lot of ignorance. But the thing is, when parents, for example, have that view that it's only bad people that get locks, like I've heard things in the past, or even in the past when I've watched certain Ghanaian movies, I noticed certain stereotypes where they will always have the guy that's got locks being the drug dealer or the criminal, the one that's a murderer and stuff like that. And because those kind of stereotypes are perpetuated, a lot of those beliefs and thinking run very deep in with some Africans, not all. And because they have that thinking, they then like to pass it off onto their offspring. So when some of them see that their offspring is even thinking about locking up, they're like, nah, not my child. I didn't raise no criminal. It's not happening. There's nothing that you can do about how people think or feel about these things, but do whatever you think is right for you is the best thing that I can say. In that situation, I would say have a deep think about the reason as to why you're getting locks. If you obviously feel very strong about the reason behind why you're doing what you're doing, don't allow anybody to deter you. Have conversations with the people that have an issue with it, especially if it's like, for example, your parents whom you're generally close with. I wouldn't say to be disrespectful. I'm not somebody that's disrespectful to my elders. Even in other situations where maybe my parents may feel some type of way about things and I feel the opposite way, I will always hear them out. I will always say, you know what, okay, I've heard you, but I'm gonna still do what I want to do anyway. And sometimes that's all that you can do, because the funny thing is there are some parents that they'll be against it at the start, and then as time goes on and they see that, you know what, you're sticking to your lock journey, you've been in it 2 years deep and whatnot, and you know what, they start to even like locks themselves. And that's the only thing that you can do. I say with situations like that, you have to go with your gut. You have to do what makes you happy. Don't go and just cut it off just to please them or just to please anybody else. If you're in a situation where it's like, okay, you're living under your parents' roof, and if you don't get rid of it, then they're gonna kick you out and then you're gonna be homeless, you might wanna, you know, rethink about that situation. Do you get what I'm saying? Because everybody's situation is different. I can't speak for everybody's situation because I don't know what's happening in certain people's lives, certain people's households. But my general thinking would be, analyze the situation that you're in, think about why it is that you want to get locks, and then take it from there. If it's a thing where it's just people that you're dating or friends that are against it, you see my face already. I mean, really, friends, even people that you're dating, listen, just because you're dating somebody, listen, they could wake up one morning and tell you they don't love you no more. Friends, as you grow older, you realize sometimes friends come and go. And you know what, even with family, you can kind of say, you know what, well, sometimes people can't even screw on family. But different people, different situations. Have a think about what it is that you want to do, what you're trying to achieve, and think about the current situation that you're in. You know, if these people don't have any kind of power over you, like for example, if it's maybe the workspace, like it's your work manager or whoever that you work for, and I know that's a bit of a sticky situation, but at the end of the day, we all work because we need to make money, because we have dreams, we have goals, we have aspirations, we have bills. Some of us have family, yada yada, you got things to pay off. So if you're working in a career, for example, and you started growing locks and they're now saying, oh, it's unprofessional and you run the risk of losing your job, as much as I really don't want to say the following, you would have to really analyze that situation and kind of work out, well, do you really want to be without a job? So as you can see, that question within itself, the answer is not straightforward, but I hope you guys can see where I am coming from. I think analyzing your situation, because everybody's situation is different, is very important. It's not a one size or one rule fits all. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I could have easily come on camera and be like, ignore everybody, just grow it, you know why you want to grow it, like Locs is the best. Locs are the best, they are the best, I ain't gonna lie. But that would be me lying, because there's a lot of things to consider basically, and when it comes down to it, all I can say is you just gotta do what you gotta do, boo. That's all I can say. But yeah, hopefully, I'm really hoping that this video has helped somebody out. Maybe you're going through this situation. I hope that it's made you have a think as to what you want to do in regards to whether or not you do want to go down the Locs route, or whether you don't. Or maybe, especially if it's a thing where you know it may deter you from getting certain jobs, or it may deter you from the career path that you're trying to follow, maybe Locs may be a thing that you may want to do later on in life. Maybe when you can work for yourself, or maybe when you're in a different role. Who knows? These are all things that you have to have a think about for yourself, to be honest, because I feel like it's very easy to ask other people this question, but other people don't know the ins and outs of your life. Only you do, and only you can make that decision. But whatever decision that you make, always make sure that you stay true to yourself and to who you are. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and until my next video, take care, be good.